Alright, welcome back everyone. So I'm streaming, this is part 2. Today I started by sketching, well, at least I tried to sketch, what's his name? RoboCop. RoboCop as a horror villain. That's the goal of this stream. And so far, as you can see, I have attempted this guy. Can't really bring it into view. This one, and also this one. But even though these guys kind of have a better pose, I mean, they read a bit better. The problem with them is they don't really look like horror characters. They just look like normal characters, normal RoboCop. This one is starting to lean more towards that look, that whole, you know, he's clearly somewhat zombified, post-apocalyptic. He looks like he's a bit mutated. He's got his gun out, he's got his old school armor on, some kind of a pus fungus sticking out of his head. I guess perhaps some of his flesh is just hanging out of his armor. That's the look, that's the direction at least that I like, and I want to continue doing several more attempts, maybe 2 more, 3 more, 4 more, I don't know. I'm just gonna sit and try to figure this out. So once again, the goal of this stream is to draw RoboCop that is transformed into some kind of a horror character. Man, those words are hard to pronounce. It's crazy that ever since I've started to stream, I have started to realize I have trouble pronouncing a lot of words. That's something I need to work on. Anyway, let's get started. With this guy, I'm gonna go ahead and start with a fresh sheet. Lay it over. And start pulling what I like from this sketch onto the next. That's really what I do. I just work on it over and over and over until either I'm sick and tired of it, or you know what, it starts to look decent enough that I can keep it and put it on my wall instead of the rest that actually will end up in my bin. Should I work with this pencil? Let's see. I mean, that's really smooth. Why not? Why not? Let's go for it. Once again, I find it really helps when I treat my work as practice. If I think this is something serious and something special that I have to take good care of, I find I really screw it up. So I'm gonna treat it as if it's just another sketch. That way I can trick my brain into relaxing, and once I can relax, I believe these sketches will improve, because then I can do the best version of what I'm capable of producing. And the same thing for streaming, really, because nobody's really around. I could treat this as practice, really, since I am terrible with live streams and being on camera and just speaking, really speaking to the public is it's a terrifying thing to do. It shouldn't be, but it's a skill not many of us have naturally, and we have to work at it. So anyway, let's start drawing and not talking as much. I mean, talking is fine, however, the pencil needs to start moving. Just going to... I have to treat this like I'm warming up again, because I mean, I did the previous stream today earlier, and then I took some time off, had some food, made myself a cup of coffee, and now I'm well fed. I'm ready to go again. My new problem is, because I'm so fed to the point that I'm starting to feel a bit sleepy. That will pass. Let's just relax and move that pencil. His body looks a bit small in the previous one, so I'm going to try to beef him up a bit. beef that boy up. Start adding his armor at the same time, since I've already done enough of these underlying drawings. Oh, it must feel so good to be a professional artist, where you could sit down and whip one of these out in 10, 15, 20 minutes. I am nowhere near that. But just like anything else in life, you have to earn it. Because if it was that easy, then everybody else would do it. His other arm, whoa, he looks, that doesn't look too right, but whatever. Let's see. Miss Hyper Space Girl. That's amazing. What's amazing? The chicken scratchers that I put down? Because I've done all these just so I can finally get to this guy, because he's meant to be RoboCop, but I want to transform. I don't want to just draw RoboCop. I want to draw RoboCop as if he is transformed into a villain character. So I'm turning him into like a zombie post-apocalyptic type of character. So I kind of like where this is going, and now I am trying to do another version of that, hoping to improve upon this one. Most of the time it doesn't work out, but I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. You know what? Give me 2 seconds. I want to turn on the fan because it is hot in here. Yeah, just give me like 2 seconds. Yeah, let me know if the fan is too loud, if it's just sinking, if it's leaking into the mic and it's bothering you guys or whoever's watching, if anybody's watching at this point. I'm used to streaming to myself, really, so if anybody's at the other side and the fan is too loud, please let me know and I will reduce the speed of it, so you don't end up feeling like this guy. Oh, I gotta fix that. That's not good. My screen is off. Where is it? Where's the setting? There it is. Center and lock. All right. I should be good now. Put his other arm here. Somewhat behind him. He's holding the gun. Just making that fist. The gun will be somewhere here. Because RoboCop needs his gun, even when he's a zombie. What am I missing? His legs, of course. Gotta make those legs read. Put up his armor after. Just I'm just trying to trace parts that I think should be transferred over instead of having to. It's kind of like what animators used to do. Animators, they would basically flip as they would, you know, have they would have a stack of sheets that they would flip through, and then they would keep correcting the drawing or the updated drawing. I'm kind of using that method. What type of pencil are you using? I'm using, initially I did some of these sketches with this one, which is, this is the Papermate. See, I don't know if you can see it on camera. Yeah, Papermate Evergreen Break Resistant HB2. So you could literally find these on Amazon or Walmart. They're super cheap. I love them. Well, of course I love them because it's great that they're cheap, but I don't care if they even cost more money because I like the chalky feel. Here, I'll demonstrate it for you. Yeah, I don't know if you can pick it up on mic. Has a nice chalky feel to it. And I use a pencil extender by Derwent. So this is pretty much one of my favorite combos. The second one that I use is Prismacolor Ebony Jet Black Extra Smooth, and this one is like it's really nice. It goes really dark, very buttery. The problem with this one, good luck erasing it. So if you're gonna make a mess and you want to capture shapes, this is fun to draw with. A lot of Disney artists, the old school guys, used to draw with this. So think of like Glenn Keane. And this one is my favorite pencil of all time. Like, it's got this eraser attached to it. I really don't care about it because I'm used to using my kneaded eraser. This is my favorite eraser. I can just turn it into any shape I want and erase with that shape. So, and it doesn't leave any of that eraser residue. You know how it just goes everywhere. Does it smudge? Well, I mean, it's a pencil. Of course it's gonna smudge. But I'll show you a trick that I use to avoid smudging. So anyway, kneaded eraser is my favorite eraser. I'm sure there are gonna be people that will like this. So this is great if you want to do, I guess, detailed erasing. The problem is, it's just like an eraser which leaves, you know, that whole eraser residue which goes everywhere, and I'm not a fan of that. However, this one by Blackwing Soft, which is the matte version, it's the darkest one. So like, you can see how light I can go and how dark I can go. Honestly, this thing's like butter. This is very smooth, and I thought nothing will beat this. This is even smoother. The problem with this pencil, even though it's my favorite pencil of all time, it's expensive. So I live in Canada and I ordered it on Amazon, so it comes in packs of 12. It costs like over $70 with shipping and handling, which is ridiculous for 12 pencils. However, if you use a pencil extender, you can literally use this up to the very end. Kneaded erasers are so good, they just get dirty. Well, yeah, they get dirty, but they also last a long time. I mean, you're literally, you know, wipe it off, you just knead it again, and voila, it's good for a long time, and they're really cheap. But yeah, this is by far my most favorite pencil of all time. However, if you just want to make a ton of mess and you don't know what you're doing, then I would definitely recommend the cheaper one that's far more affordable. And then this is for more like, you know, you're gonna actually pay attention to what you're drawing, because this one is the most expensive one. Unless you are the son or a daughter of a billionaire or a millionaire, and money doesn't really matter, then it's a different story. Anyway, I am going to, that's true, they're also so fun to switch. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure, I do that too. Like, sometimes I just make shapes out of these out of fun, just to have fun, but then I quickly remind myself, hey, you should be drawing, you shouldn't be doing that. Basically, that's like your brain trying to distract you from doing what is really difficult, and that's to actually sit down and draw. Like, it's easy to grab reference, it's easy to talk about it, it's easy to plan for it, but sitting down and drawing, that's rough. That's the real skill building thing to do. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to trying to draw this RoboCop that's been mutated, and he's a horror character now, but he still has his police instincts. Can you now take drawing requests? Hey, oh, it's Carpet. I forgot. He used to come around. Where in Canada are you in? I'm in New York. And travel often as far as Edmonton, Jasper, Alberta. Oh, wow. Okay, you've okay. I've been to Toronto. I've been to Montreal. I am from Ottawa, so I'm from the capital. But I've never personally been to Alberta or anywhere really far east or far west. That's really cool. So you've seen the best parts of Canada that I haven't even seen. Complete silent mode. I do that because I have trouble sketching and trying to talk at the same time. That's why streams are good, because you're forced to do both at the same time. Okay, can I work with this sketch? I don't know. I don't know. You know what? I'll make this the underdrawing, so at least I can look at it. I take this guy, get it out of the way. I don't need these to kind of look similar, so I'll keep this around. I'll put this away. You can go back here, and you're gonna be my reference while I try to draw RoboCop. Wait, you never answered my question, but you're doing pretty good. What paper are you using? Wanted to visit. It's rich in history and landmark. Yeah, sure, I guess. I mean, I'm from Ottawa, so I find it boring because I've lived here for so long. But yeah, I'm sure you would find it to be quite interesting if you were to visit Ottawa. So, Carpet, so you have two questions. Am I taking in drawing requests? I will, just not at the moment, because I at least want to get through this sketch. So that's one. Two, what type of paper am I using? I'm using a super expensive paper. It's something that you really have to trade in a bar of gold to actually be able to afford one of these. I need you to understand this is specifically made in Italy, and it's made by exactly how they used to manufacture for the Renaissance artists back in the day. Now, I'm just kidding. It's just copy paper. It's just copy paper. Literally, I go to Staples. Like, Staples is like the place where you buy office supplies, and I buy their cheap 500 pages of printer paper, and each turns out to be like pennies, really. Why do I like printer paper? Because it's, first of all, it's cheap. I can make a lot of mistakes and not feel bad about it. It has a little bit of a rough texture, but not too rough, and it's soft, but not too soft. And they're very, did I say cheap? And disposable. So it grew on me. It really grew on me. I don't mind having nice, expensive sketchbooks to draw in. But I find I do better when I buy stuff that I don't feel so bad about when I make mistakes in. But when I have a nice sketchbook, to this day I haven't filled it because every time I draw in there, I feel guilty when I'm just doodling. Yeah, I mean, it works. It works. Like, ooh, I made a mark. Oh no, I wasted a very expensive high GSM paper. No, it's...
There you go. No guilt. Sorry, tree huggers. Okay, get back to... Okay, carpet, you know what? Since you've asked me more than once and from previous stream, if you have a quick drawing request, if it's something I can do quickly, I don't mind taking it in, so go ahead, shoot, and as long as it's not sexual or sinful, because you know I am a Christian. So where's the how do I point at it? Yeah. Right here, Jesus Lord. So you guys can't even see it. I have to put a pencil behind it. There you go. Now you can see it. So as long as it's a clean subject and it's something I can execute quickly, I don't mind taking that request. So go ahead, shoot. Well, until you do that, I'm gonna keep sketching. Helmet is broken because these mutated looking things are sticking out of his head. Something quick. Is that not sinful, or maybe a small bird not in a flying position? A small bird? How dare you ask me to draw a bird? Now I'm kidding. I could draw. Okay, you know what? All right. Let's draw a bird. Do you have a particular bird in mind? Let's make this more interesting. Like, tell me if you have a particular bird in mind. I'm gonna look up the reference for it. That way at least I have a better understanding of the subject. And then you and I together, whoever's in the stream really, can throw in ideas as to how we can turn it into some kind of a fun little story drawing instead of just a bird doing absolutely nothing. A hummingbird. Okay, let me look that up quickly. 2 seconds, please, and thank you. Come on, don't do that. I cannot reach hummingbird. I can't even reach my keyboard too well. What in the world? How did I end up on this site? That's weird. Okay, Google. Hummingbird. Hummingbird. Okay, so let's come up with a little story about a hummingbird. I'm gonna use one of my super expensive sheet of paper. All right, what do you have in mind when it comes to a hummingbird? Until you guys think of some ideas, I'm just going to sketch. I'm gonna look at a reference. That's a decent one. The beautiful curves on this bird. Fix that beak. bottom of the beak. So any ideas, guys, as to turning this bird into some kind of a fantasy character, doing something besides just a bird flying up in the sky? Alright, well then perhaps I will start generating some ideas. How about this bird is large enough to transport some knight that is riding right up here? Well, the legs would have to be here, so the body would sit here, the head would be here. Arm here. He's got his backpack on him because he's traveling far, far away. Maybe just like a horse. So strapped up. That bird. Yo, that looks insanely cool. Well, thank you. In my mind, I'm like, oh, this is garbage. Can't wait to be done and trash it after. And I don't really like my own stuff. Maybe that's normal. Maybe that's how everyone that draws their own stuff feels. When I'm being self-deprecating, yeah, that's the word, towards my own art, then I post it. I find I get comments of people, I guess, being a bit upset about it. No, it doesn't look like that. So on and so forth. This wing. Darken this side to make that wing pop a bit more. He's got a ton of feathers going here. His legs are folded. That different groups of feathers. Here's got, well, just from what I see, it's like a whole bunch of little feathers grouped down here. And perhaps, oh yeah, back here, of course, we gotta darken this part because I mean, it's part of the original design reference I'm looking at. Here it folds. Back here. Maybe this bird's got some kind of a crown. And they're flying high up in the sky. So let's go ahead, draw some cloud lines. Indicate maybe have another one here, so we are showing a bit of a perspective. Switch his wings. Somebody else is there, and perhaps the sun is up here. Darken that a bit because they're looking up high up in the sky. And now later, maybe it gets lighter as they get away from the side. A little bit of value to divide some of the clouds. There you go. Carpet's like, I'm gone already, bro. Here you go. Let's dedicate it to carpet edits. There you go, my friend. This drawing is dedicated to you. Bro's not even around. Where's that? Where is that button I gotta press? The carpet's gone. Oh no. Alright, I'm gonna put this away. Oh, I need some water. Whoops. How's everyone doing? Fine, thanks. How about you? Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Back to drawing RoboCop. Oh, get down. No, that's not RoboCop. That is not RoboCop. That is Arnold. Helmet. There's a little angry expression. Let's add some color because it would be cool if this part kind of glows. Orangish, reddish looking. Can't really pick it up on camera. Alright, Mr. RoboCop. It's time you make sense. supposed to be looking down. So let's pretend the light is coming from this angle. So we'll start darkening these areas slightly. So his neck area. Kind of looks super bulky. Well, keep going. Maybe it's gonna look a bit better than this one, and so far not. Don't give up, little buddy. One day when you grow up, you're gonna be a decent artist. Not. Chest plate. Oh, not much room there. Perhaps I should put this aside so I can actually look at it as reference. Ah, fail. Don't need this, I can hold it. His elbow armor. Yeah, I mean, why not? He's got flesh underneath, which can be used for exposure. Sticking out. Maybe he could have marks on his armor. thumb over the gun. Drawing hands. Always fun. No, not fun. Because they're so hard to do. I'm sure it's fun when you know what you're doing. I'm not feeling this one. Let's just keep going with it. Try to improve the negative space. Start adding armor. Switch to song. Whoops again. This knee has to be lower than this one. But then again, hips. Gotta fix his hips. It's gotta be somewhere here. That has to be higher. Kinda looks like it's planted. Do I want it planted? Does it make sense if it's planted? Me no like it. Next sketch. Bro, how many times are you gonna redraw this? As many times as it takes. Comparing it to the previous drawing, I think I like the previous one better. I should just take a direction and start narrowing it down between these two that I did. Yeah, I'm not feeling this one. This one feels more reasonable. So I think I'll work with this one. This one did not make the cut. Goodbye. Alright, let's see if we can do a better version. Sometimes you'll sketch. I mean, if you don't really have any plans and you just doodle until something makes sense, you have a much higher chance of accomplishing something. But when you set a specific design goal, such as this one that I have, which is RoboCop as a villain, and you have to, so now you have to figure out the pose, you have to figure out telling a story using his body language, the way you dress him, and the way you basically the way you do, you add all the design elements to make sense out of that design goal. I find that that's really challenging. I should make it more the center of the page. I'm sure 10,000 more of these character designs will feel very natural to draw. I think I like this pose. The original one that I did. It's just his leg. Okay, let's work with that. weird. It's flat. Huh. Curves. So far, I am still trying to figure what this character is going to look like. As you can see, that's what I have underneath, and it's starting to look a bit more alive. That's, I don't know how I feel about all that, but nevertheless, I think there is a bit of improvement overall. After a while, you get tired of trying to make it work, and then you just move on, because you're not going to become world-class designer overnight, as much as we want it deep down. You just have to accept the fact that you have to go through all these bad drawings until things just start making sense, because you've put in so many years and so many hours into designing characters, environments, props, vehicles, monsters, and whatever else you're interested in drawing. On his other arm a bit. Maybe bring it out a bit. It's a bit hidden. It's supposed to represent his bicep underneath his armor. Chest armor ends somewhere here. That looks a bit stiff. Yeah, I like that arm better. Let's go ahead and erase that part. That looks like it's sticking out way too much. His shoulder armor. That's a bit better. How did I do it previously? Let's see. Let's go ahead and just trace what works. Cut me some shortcut, really. Taking a shortcut. Using my under drawing. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Its position.
What if this leg is leaning this way? The knee ends here. Oh, that pose kind of works. Maybe we should give him more of a head tilt. Let's try that. Let's try this look. Well, that actually, never mind. If he's facing this way, the leg. Doesn't work all that much. What if we push this leg really far out? Hey, that's starting to look good. Armor would be here, his thigh armor. And his calf, his lower leg armor be here. I'll add the details later. I just want to make sense out of this. RoboCop, you are starting to look like a horror character. Okay, I can live with this. But what about this leg? What's happening here? Comes this way. No, bring it this way. See. And let's twist this leg because he is all mutated and messed up. Yeah, why not? This just might work.
think I have captured my pose. I think at least that much. Alright, RoboCop, it's time to actually design you out. Time for another sheet. Alright, let's go for one more attempt. Well, maybe two more. But I'm starting to feel I'm getting close to the look and feel of what I am after. Oh, this one fell. Stay. Maybe we could tilt the head a bit more on this one. Let's try to push that pose a bit more. Like I said before, just because I'm doing another copy doesn't mean automatically it's going to be a better version. But that's just it's just another skill I haven't developed yet. we're getting closer and closer to the design that I'm trying to capture. I can already see that hand is going to be a problem, but I'll deal with it after. Right now the goal is to make sure the sketch is better than the previous one. And I say that's the goal, doesn't mean that's what I will achieve. Kind of works. All right, let's continue. You know what? I am gonna take a couple of minutes break. I'll be right back. All right. Let's continue this sketch. Turning the paper so that I can maximize the angles that I'm trying to capture. I should say, when I'm saying maximize, I mean I want to make sure I actually capture these angles. And instead of trying to come up with a different angle, I just look at the image below and trace the parts that I think at least that they make sense. Let's see. This guy. And we have him. Sure, let's work with it. Maybe he's actually gonna be the final one. Let's go for it. Switch the song. Kind of like this one. I'll put it on the loop for a bit. Even though this is most likely going to be the final one, I still want to treat it like it's just a basic sketch. That way I can stay relaxed and not stiffen up. That's the worst. As soon as you stiffen up, your drawing will suffer. Let's start by designing his helmet. Whoops, I'm out of view. Right about there. Stay here. Stop moving. Wraps around his chin. See, he sees through this part. Maybe we could add some color to that. A little bit of red. Same thing, light is coming from this direction. So, what are we doing? His mouth. Give him some kind of an expression. His head is tilted. Excuse me. Adding thickness and all the layers that I see on his armor, because I'm looking at, I have reference opened of his original armor, but it's not this pose and it's not, you know, it's not a horror character, so it's how reference should be used. This part will be darker, so let's go ahead and darken that. And let's figure out how the light is hitting his helmet. I'm gonna go lighter to capture where the light is hitting everything. Losing details. Bring that helmet back and try to bring the thickness back. And he's got, I think it's like these ring looking things around his neck. Forgot to expose his helmet. Let's just do that now. Some kind of a fungus growing out. He's got some scar lines. RoboCop doesn't look healthy. Gotta add his chest plate. Thickness of his chest plate. Chest plate ends about here. Can live with that. When I say I can live with that, that's my way of saying I don't really like how some things are turning out, but I'm okay with moving forward and just taking the sketch to a more finished, incomplete level, even though I'm not happy with a lot of things that I've done. It's chest armor. Thickness of it. Is it starting to work? Or is it gonna end up in my bin? We'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. Let's see where this sketch goes. And of course, I'm making up other parts of his armor that I can't really see in the reference, or I can't really see clearly because the image isn't all that clear. So, or maybe I'm looking at something and I'm not too ecstatic about the design choices, so I just add what I think should fit in. For instance, his whole shoulder area, I can't really make out all that much what's happening, so I'm trying to figure out my own version of how I'm gonna design this out. Design this out. Bro needs to pronounce things better. English 101. Everybody having fun? Oh wait, nobody's here. I'm having fun. The benefit of doing streams while drawing is that if nobody's watching your streams, at least you're getting practice and you're building your art skills. But I can see how this would be painful if you're playing video games and you're trying to stream and nobody is watching you. Nobody is joining your stream, or once they join, within a couple of minutes they just exit. I can see how that would be painful for those individuals. Time to make sense out of his hand. Isn't that fun to do? I mean, yeah, it's fun once you know how to draw hands. maybe some kind of a fungus growing out of this part of his arm, or maybe here, which would affect the silhouette. Yeah, let's leave that for now. His fingers look extra long. Whatever. I tried so hard and got so far, but at the end, it doesn't really matter, because my sketches belong in the bin. Got a hand. Come on, let's try to get this right. How are you wrapping around the gun? Pistol looks extra long. What leave it there. Maybe expose a portion of his organs. Out of his armor. Try to capture a good negative space there. Flesh stuff is just all around him. And then think I'm gonna make this the final one. Yeah, I think I'll just work on this one a bit more, and I think this should be it as far as my RoboCop turning into a horror villain character. And then I'll move on to the next one. His hand is all messed up, but yeah, it's a bit too late. I tried already many times to fix it, but whatever, it didn't work. It did not work. Got some pus stuff growing out of his helmet. Maybe it's leaking a bit. Bring that into view. Right there. Good. Stay right there. Don't move. You know what? I'm gonna use a tape because I keep moving it out of view. I think that's a good spot. Stay. Good boy. All right, RoboCop. Let's finish this. More of that pus stuff growing out of his arm now. Here too. Whole part should be darker because the value of his armor is darker here originally, and let's try to make sense out of all this. This part should be darker. Underneath, create a shadow. This whole part would be darker. Here too. This section where the light is not hitting here, definitely. Underneath. Where he is standing, let's add some shadow. Well, just to ground him, really. He feels like he's actually standing. Maybe some dots, some little rocks. Now he feels like he's actually standing a bit. Alright, RoboCop. Trying to make you look horrific. Plus stuff growing out of his armor here as well. Back here. Maybe on his neck. It's not reading all that well. Raise the helmet perhaps. Flesh just sticking out all over. Try to make this look like armor. Is it reading? Well, it's definitely better than the other sketches I've done, so this is where I say I can live with that. AKA, I don't really like it, but it's the best I could do for the time that I gave myself. His gun. We gotta make sure it looks like he's actually holding his gun reasonably well. That's where the trigger is. Maybe some of that gooish stuff is starting to overgrow on his gun as well. His thumb would be here. Finger would be here. Another one here. Kind of works. That stuff growing on his face is also popping out of his organs. His armor. Let's make that read a bit. RoboCop, you're starting to look like a zombie cop.
Oh yeah, maybe I could bring some of that stuff that has infected him coming out of his lower body. Lots of little details on his armor, but I can only show so much before it starts to look busy and weird. I think I'm gonna stop with this sketch. This was the RoboCop horror villain design that I was after. Now I will go over all the other sketches that I did to get to this one, and then I'll move on to the next one. Let's put them in order. I think that's the first one. Second.
think that was third, fourth, something like that. Third, fourth, fifth. Yeah, let's put them in order and display them. Alright, so the first goal of this stream is, was to draw RoboCop. Okay, so the first goal of this character was to draw RoboCop as a horror villain type of character. So this was the first attempt. Clearly here I'm trying to figure out the posing. That's one. And then here I come up with something, I mean, I think it's better. I like the way his leg is positioned, but he doesn't look like he's been infected or anything like that. He looks like just an ordinary RoboCop that's just posing normally. So that didn't really capture my attention. This one, I don't like the legs, but I like the upper body. Still, it's still not working. This one is getting closer. It's getting closer to that goal because it's starting to look like a horror type of character, and you can see the aesthetics of RoboCop. Here I tried to do a better version. I like where the legs are going. He can't really stand straight anymore, and he's just all over the place. And clearly, if you were to run across this character, you would immediately know something's not right with this guy. So it's starting to lean towards what I was going after. Actually, I did that sketch after this one. So this one was capturing the look and feel that I wanted, but it's still really, really rough. So anyway, I did another version, and this is the final version that I'm stopping because that was what, 7 different times that I drew this. I'm getting tired of it, really. I want to just move on to the next drawing. So this is it. This is the RoboCop drawn as a horror villain character that's infected. He's got flesh that's just sticking out of his armor, and all these funguses just growing all over him. He still has his pistol, and he is extra deadly because he's RoboCop, but now he's on the bad side. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, exactly 7. Yeah, this is it. RoboCop. Let's title it. RoboCop. Horror villain. Today's date 6/6/26. All right, moving on. Now I'm gonna finish a drawing that I've done in the past. Well, I should have finished in the past and I didn't. I just got carried away doing other things. So the goal of this one is to draw Batman. Okay, so it's to draw Batman, and he is hunting Dracula. But he's afraid of Dracula. It's funny. I think it's funny because Batman is known to not be afraid of anything. Wow, I shouldn't say that. He does fear bats, but he is generally not afraid of anything. Anyway, so this is one version. This was me trying to figure out his expressions. I just wanted to capture a funny looking expression. Type of expression. Here's another version. Here's one of the earlier sketches that I did.
here I'm working out his pose. How much is he gonna lean? How dramatic is this going to be? Here's another one. As you can see, I draw my characters and environments, whatever I'm drawing, over and over and over until something makes sense. And so far, it's this guy. This guy is making sense. Well, somewhat. Anyway, so I'm going to continue with this sketch and see where I can take it. Start by taping this guy right in view. That's decent. Right there. Stay. Well, I should have copied portions of it. You know what? Because I did this sketch with my left hand, I'm gonna go ahead and continue it. I don't wanna, like, I wanna finish it that way. And I was working with, yeah, I think it was this pencil. Doesn't matter. Copy the shadow. I mean, the joke of the Dracula is it's just Batman being afraid of Batman, because the shadow that I drew looks a lot like Batman himself. Pull up my reference for this, and the reference I looked up is I want to see the 50s Batman, what he looked like. Like I've said before, I like older designs. I find they were more simple. I'm sure my taste will change over time, but for now, I just enjoy looking at the classic simple shapes.
two little mouses down here as Batman is making his way through that castle hallway. Alright, let's go ahead and put this aside. Or maybe I could bring it into view here a bit for you guys to enjoy having something else to look at besides my busted ass looking sketches. Man, what the heck is going on right there, man? Yeah, right there. Park it, son. Alright, almost 2.5 hours. I'm gonna take a quick break and I will be right back. Alright, so I am back. Let's get on with this sketch. Dracula. Let's work on his hand a bit. I mean, he's supposed to be a shadow, so all you can really see is his silhouette. That means I have to maximize making his silhouette look as strong as possible. How are we doing for time? Yeah, we're good, we're good. I'm still drawing the inside of the character, like I'm developing like a little bit of the eyes, a little bit of the drapery, not because it's going to show, but it helps me visualize what I am trying to accomplish. The hard part is going to be drawing his hands. Oh, I really screwed that up. Somewhere here. I should leave some distance between these two because they're overlapping. Well, they're about to touch each other, so it's going to create an ugly tangent, especially when it's supposed to be just the shadow, the silhouette. I'll leave that alone for now. Batman, let's work on Batman. His thighs look huge. His kneecap. His ankle. Oh, it's supposed to have folds here. Fun. Every time I say fun, I'm really saying is, oh, this is rough. This is hard. This is beyond what I understand how to do. So I am about to struggle. That's how you learn. Got these two mouses here munching on some food they found in the castle hallway. I don't want to get into detailing this out because I know I'm going for at least one more attempt, so I should just hint at what's happening. Maybe they got some cheese they found. And spider webs up here, maybe. I guess to help frame this better. No, that's not what I want to do. No spider webs. I want to show bats. Bats flying across because Batman is afraid of bats. So I'm about to smudge the heck out of this image, so let's do this. So I don't smudge. Bats flying. Flying across. Don't really look like bats. Something like that. Okay, let's take this to the next sketch. Sharpen my pencil.